Hello, welcome back to my kitchen. Good to see you today. I hope you brought your appetite because we're gonna be making something just absolutely delicious. I think, I hope. Oh, it might be good. We're gonna try our very best. And I was thinking I wanted to make a recipe. I wanted to recreate some sort of pantry snack. Man, I've said pantry a lot in the last 2 weeks. I was thinking of doing Cheetos or something, I don't know, something fun like that. But the more I looked up recipes, the more I just felt like not looking at recipes. And traditionally, what I do here is, I follow a recipe in my own way when I'm in the mood to follow the recipe. But today I just really didn't want to follow a recipe. I kind of just wanted to let it fly. I had an idea that I wanted to kind of fuse together two different foods that I really like. I like a lot of food, so I had to really be selective in how I was gonna choose those two foods. And it turns out with the ingredients we have in the house, we can make cheeseburgers and sushi. Because I always have rice in the house, and I always have rice vinegar in the house, and I always have solgar in the house. All of those things are required for sushi. So I was thinking, how could we make a really good cheeseburger sushi? Instead of finding vegetables or making crispy tofu or tempura or whatever, I figured let's just put some cheeseburger in it. You know what I mean? This stuff is delicious, and you can cook it with some white onion and some couple other things to make it really taste like, a nice fast food cheeseburger. And we'll just fill the sushi with that, and maybe some odds and ends like crispy onions and some sauce. I'm thinking of making sort of a Thousand Islands version of spicy mayo, kind of. It's gonna be a Thousand Islands, but maybe with a little bit of chili oil and a little bit of sesame seeds. So here, what we're gonna do today is we're gonna follow my wild and fast brain on this journey to making something hopefully delicious. So let's go. So I sharpened this the other day. I used all my whetstones. It is ready to go. And as much as I am excited to start chopping, that is not the first step. Actually, you can stay in front of me. First step is to get the rice going. So I am gonna walk into the other room, get some rice out of my completely organized pantry, and rinse it. I'm gonna rinse it for about a minute, get all the starch off the rice. I'm gonna do about maybe a little over a cup of rice, and then I'm gonna toss it in the rice maker. So that is working while we are working. Everyone's working, okay? No slacking off. I see you back there, okay? I know that you wired your headphone all the way through your sleeve and you're listening to it, pretending to be leaning on your desk paying attention. I've tried that trick before. I couldn't enjoy the music or pay attention to class. It was a complete lose-lose. So there's a lot of starch on this rice. I'm gonna rinse it now and then put it in the rice maker. All right, the song has played and the rice is starting to cook. So what I wanna do first is I want to prepare the onion, and we're gonna use half the onion, well, maybe a fourth of the onion for our Thousand Islands mayo dressing sauce thing. And then the rest of the onion is gonna go nice and diced up and mixed with the ground beef when we cook it. So we can cut the onion all at once and then just divide it into portions. And I'm just gonna cut it down the center here. A lot of you guys ask me actually quite a bit, why don't you make a cookbook of all your recipes? And one of the main reasons why I don't or haven't is because so much of my cooking content is not even my recipe. I'm usually following one recipe or another and trying to make whatever I'm making. This week though, I feel like we could consider this a true original recipe. Although I know people have done their own versions of this. I looked it up and it exists on the internet. A lot of them are meat sushi, where it's there's no rice, it's just a tube of meat. And you won't be finding that here. Oh shit, it's hitting, dude. I'm about to cry. We have most of our onion and then the part we forgot. And this is gonna be part of the sauce, but we are cooking all of the onion. Nothing is going in the recipe raw. What next? What should we do next? Maybe next we start cooking the ground beef. I think we should do that. All right, so let's turn this on to 7 out of 10 power. We can use a little bit of vegetable oil, I suppose. And before we actually add our ground beef, we're gonna get our white onions, nice and crisp. And before we put the ground beef in, we're gonna put some mustard on it. This is something that I know a lot of people do when they're making burgers. It adds a nice, just a really good burger flavor. So we're gonna do that. Actually, while that starts to cook, I'm gonna put our Beyond ground beef into a container, and I'm gonna mix it with just a little bit of yellow mustard. You might think to yourself, what the fuck is he doing? I'm telling you, if you're making burgers at home or ground beef that you wanna taste like burgers, you gotta try this. The mustard gives a nice like coating, and before you cook it too. Because the mustard, the way it cooks, just adds a really nice flavor. So I'm going to just kind of mix it around. Beautiful. That's kind of what we're working with. Looks a little bit nasty maybe right now, but it will be delicious, I promise. I have an 85% guarantee that it will be good. All right, some onions for the sauce. This is about finished. So let's add our ground beef. You want to just kind of mash it up because it's obviously not going to be the shape of a cheeseburger. It's going to have the taste and the essence of one. When the cheeseburger essence hits. I actually really like this spoon. I don't think I've ever used it before. You ever have stuff in your house that you just have never used? What is that? All right, now we just got to brown this till it's nice and pretty and ready to be a sushi filling. Well, this is just a thing of beauty. I didn't put too much cheese. I put like a decent amount. I could have gone overboard, but I think it's important to leave room for the other flavors that are gonna be happening in this roll. Okay, so we're gonna put our ground beef over here, and now we have to prepare our sauce, which is a mix of aioli, Thousand Islands dressing, special sauce, spicy mayo, whatever you wanna call it, whatever you would put on a cheeseburger, and then maybe also combined with what you would put on a sushi roll. I don't know. First things first. Get your equipment ready. All right, we're gonna take maybe like 2.5 tablespoons of mayo. And first we're gonna add some Worcestershire, vegan Worcestershire sauce. A couple drops there. Important ingredient here, we're gonna add some ketchup. We are of course gonna add a little bit of mustard. Lastly, if I can get this open, some chili oil. Now this is something you traditionally would not put in your sauce for a burger, but we're fusing two recipes, so we got to make some exceptions here. We're gonna put a little bit of chili oil. That's about it. We might add some more of that, not sure. All right, and now we mix. Obviously with something like this, you're gonna wanna kind of add things as you go to make sure the portions are correct. I think this is a good sauce. I'm trying to it's hard to like achieve two flavors, right? Because I know what spicy mayo tastes like, and I know what Thousand Islands tastes like. And this tastes like both, but neither at the same time. But I think it's good, I think. What do you think? You wanna try it? Take a sip. Take a whole last sip. I think honestly, maybe just a little more chili oil. I'm super excited right now. This is gonna be, I think, pretty delicious. One thing you're also gonna want to have handy is the sulgur for our sushi rice, okay? Always have your sulgur handy. Is it salt? No. Is it sugar? No. Is it sulgur? Yes. Yeah, it's rice time. What are we thinking? Looking good? Well, we're making a mess today, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna add here what we would normally add for a sushi rice, which is nice healthy amount of rice vinegar. Gives it that distinct sushi rice flavor. And then a healthy spoonful of sulgur. We're gonna mix this up. Once the sushi rice is all mixed together, you're gonna put it all on a flat surface, a cutting board, a plate, whatever you got. This is to allow the rice to cool off just for a few minutes. We want it to be warm when we make our rolls, but not hot, because if they're hot, it will tear our paper, and that's not what we want. All right, so I think it is time for the assembly. Here's how it's gonna work. I'm just gonna make these nice, easy hand rolls. A little bit of rice, cheeseburger mixture, some sauce, maybe some crispy onions, and then we roll it up and call it a day. And then we eat some of our favorite foods combined with each other, and hopefully it will be a new favorite food in and of itself. Get our hands a little bit wet so the rice doesn't stick. Put a little bit of rice to start on the bottom third. Then we're gonna take a happy little spoonful of ground beyond. That looks good. We're gonna add a few sesame seeds. We're gonna add a little bit of our sauce. And then just to top it off, a few crispy onions for texture. And this is what we end up with. I think it looks really good. I'm not sure, but this looks kind of delicious. All right, we'll set that off to the side. We're gonna get our surfboard, our trusty surfboard, okay? And we're gonna place the finished rolls over here. And now we roll the rest and we eat our beautiful creation. Easy. I think what we have here is a success story. It looks insanely delicious. And I'm just about ready to taste it. But first, I need my tiny face taste tester.
Please just ignore my face and pretend it's not happening.
Oh, you look cute.
It smells so good.
I made cheeseburger sushi.
Oh, look at me, I'm hideous.
You're not hideous.
That smells so good, Julian.
You know how I do.
What do I get to try?
The famous Julien roll.
Oh my god.
Is it good?
That is so good.
Is it?
What's the sauce? What is that? Ketchup and mustard? I can taste the mustard.
It's a bunch of stuff. Wow, that is good. Oh my God.
That is not allowed. That sauce?
It's basically like the In-N-Out sauce with the grilled onions and stuff, but with some chili oil in it.
Not allowed.
Not allowed?
This? Not allowed. This is the best sushi I've ever had.
Really?
Yeah, because
You're a sushi connoisseur.
I don't eat any sushi and this tastes like a cheeseburger.
There's one thing about this, and it's correct. That is the thing.
Julie, this was really fun.
Right?
This is creative and fun and a good time. Don't put wasabi. No, you're ruining it. Oh, no, 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 no.
You don't think I will?
Ooh.
Say I won't, no balls.
You actually will. Is it good with soy sauce and wasabi?
Mm-hmm.
Julian, this is so fun and delicious.
Cheeseburger sushi.
Like, really fun. You're gonna put mustard in there?
Mm-hmm. If you cook the ground beef with the mustard on it, it cooks it like with a different flavor.
It tastes like In-N-Out. So tasty and fun and creative and 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10?
Oh, 10 out of 10. I did not think it was gonna come out that good.
It came out really good.
It is so fun.
Like this is just sort of like it's almost like street sushi, right? It's like a traditional like cheeseburger flavor you know and love, and it's warm and comforting with sushi rice. Nothing ever goes bad with sushi rice. By the way, thank you again to our Soldier container for making this possible today. You are the real MVP, Soldier.
That is insane.
It was easy too.
It's so good. Like I usually say, with exceptions for your baking, which should not be anywhere ever. If you had like a vegan restaurant, that would be like a really bomb appetizer.
This would bring the boys to the yard.
It would bring the boys to the yard.
Boys?
It's super fun.
Men, I have a yard with some cheeseburger sushi. Care to join? Well, thank you for taste testing. I love you.
Really, really.
I'll make this anytime. This is now my new favorite recipe to make for you.
Well, like, what if you didn't have like buns for your cheeseburger, but you felt like having a cheeseburger? That's
right?
That's really good.
It's the move, dude. Anyway, I am like incredibly happy. This is just one of those recipes that I had in my head and I wanted to make. No recipe, just kind of go for it. And I find that I weirdly sometimes, mainly most of the time, thrive with no recipe. All the time. I never have a problem.
All the time, really.
So consider trying this. I'll link the recipe below. No, I will not. There is no recipe. I just made the recipe. If you copy my recipe, my lawyers will not do anything because it's a recipe. You can do whatever you want. Anyway, thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed watching this display of wild ingenuity.
You don't even have a lawyer.
My lawyer's gonna call you about that. Oh no.
You don't have a lawyer.
I'm gonna go get a lawyer.
All right, go get one. Come back when you find one.
I found one.
Where is he?
He's over here.
Where's she?
He's over here.
What
Come
is-
look, come, you gotta come.
I don't see him.
Come.
I don't see
Come.
him. What kind of lawyer?
Cut.